Hello, everyone. This is Isabel Paradis. I'm in London. I'm in the company of one of the most intelligent person I've ever met, and a good friend of mine, Eli Katz, CEO of XConnect. Eli, welcome to my HotShot.
Thank you very much. Pleasure to be here.
It's been a long time coming. I've been torturing you for a long time to be one of my victims. I finally succeeded.
Eventually, I had to fall for your charms.
Oh, smooth talker. Let's see if you say the same by the end of this interview.
We'll wait.
So, Ellie, today we're going to talk about one of the, in my opinion, untamed animal of the telecom industry, number portability. So maybe the first thing that maybe you can share with me is, from my point of view, when I talk to wholesalers, they're all, without exception, looking for more efficiency and new revenues. Do you think number portability is one way for them to achieve both?
So the simple answer is absolutely yes. The business use case for SMS A2P players has been there for many years. The business case for domestic voice routing has been there for many years. What is interesting, in the last year or two, the use case generating millions of dollars worth of bottom line gross margin improvements has now been available for voice wholesalers. What are the key triggers? Why has this happened in the industry? So from a commercial drivers, number one is we see a very interesting phenomena. Number portability is the statement about numbers that have been ported in a given country. So if you're routing basically using the prefix as the typical routing methodology today, you're going to be wrong at least half the time. So that's on the commercial side. The technology side has also had to undergo two major changes. Number one is that an operator can make a query on every call to decide where to route this call exactly. And that's central routing engines, your SBC, your more advanced switching platforms can generate a query in real time, carrier grade, get the response and say, right, now I have the information, now I can route to the correct operator. The last part of the puzzle, which only really came into the last year or two, is technology companies like XConnect, who can deliver a resilient multi-protocol platform that can cope with ultra low latency and very high volume capacity, which is what carrier grade needs. So when we are servicing today some of the largest global carriers with thousands of queries a second and sub-millisecond latency time, that is what a voice operator needs to be able to do the routing. So that is the mixture of commercial drivers and technology enablers that says that today there are business use cases for number portability based routing.
You've convinced me. I've been in business for a while, and I remember quite a few years ago, I worked with some operators that tried to tackle the number portability challenge, and they found it was too difficult, and they never succeeded. And I think a few people have tried throughout the years. Why is it so challenging, and what needs to be taking place for the number portability animal to be tamed?
Okay, so that's a very good question. And you're absolutely right in your assessment. This has not been a trivial challenge at all. So what are the key challenges? So number one is, surprising perhaps to many people, there's no global standards for number portability information. That means every country has implemented its own particular flavor, its own technology and design, how in this country we're going to implement number portability information. Challenge number two, the commercial side and the contractual side of accessing this data, especially now in the new world of GDPR and privacy around the number information. So all of that provides a lot of additional headache in what it means to be able to onboard this data. And finally, you may have thought once you've gone through that headache of onboarding the data and the commercials and the contractuals, then you've got the second headache, which is the data that's coming in is not always perfect. It needs constant monitoring, it needs constant tweaking to ensure that the accuracy, the completeness, and the reliability is there. It is not fire and forget at all. So all of this is a lot of overheads, and unless you're prepared to invest in this as a focused entity, you're not going to be able to succeed.
So I guess you've told me that XConnect as a solution. I guess part of the reason why you're succeeding in tackling this untamed animal is investment time. But what makes you this so different? How come you've succeeded and others have failed?
So I think part of that comes from the following two statements. Number one is the specific focus and building a technology environment that can deliver what the voice customers require. Because in the good old days, being used for messaging, the requirements there were relatively simple. In the voice world, the capacity, the security, the latency, all of that is a magnitude change from what is required in A2P routing. So that's not something that you do kind of as a random thought, you do that because you're going to make a specific decision to invest in the technology, to invest in the platform, and to build the data sets from around the world. I say this is a lot of effort, both in onboarding it and ongoing. One other point to mention is that once you're in that routing loop, then there's lots more value-added services you can bring. So, for instance, big issues today impacting on carriers is not just I want to optimize and improve my voice margin, clearly, and that's what we do, but also I want to reduce my fraud. So things like being able to identify unallocated numbers or high-risk ranges. So that is information that as a number of information companies we have and can make that available to our voice customers. So overall, the message is quite simple. We are the trusted and experienced company that has built and created a solution for numbering management in fraud situations, for optimized routing on network and data subscription.
Thank you so much, Eli.
Pleasure.
Thank you for your time, and everyone, thank you for watching, and until the next Hot Shot.